Hey guys, welcome back to Big Guy Biking. My name's Rob. Today we're recording from my back porch in Western North Carolina. A couple days after Christmas, and the snow here has just kind of melted off. We got some warm temperatures to melt off the snow from our white Christmas. But anyway, today I want to introduce my first of 3 bikes that I ride. This one is my do everything bike. It gets the most ride time for me being out here in Western North Carolina. It takes everything that I can throw at it. So what we're looking at is a 2018 model Rocky Mountain Instinct. I believe it's the Carbon 70, which is the the carbon front triangle, the aluminum rear triangle. There's a reason I went with that. We'll talk about it a little bit. But dude, this thing is awesome. It's got 160 mil travel fork up front, which is upgraded from, I believe 140 was stock. It had 140 mil shock in the back. That's been upgraded to 150. We'll talk about that. But man, this thing kills everything I throw at it. Really does good up here in all the chunky stuff and more drops and stuff like that. So I got upgraded to this bike because I broke a 2017 Rocky Mountain Element. So I'll show some pictures of that, but I broke the seat stays on that twice. It was full carbon bike. And pretty much just kind of got challenged from a friend who was a bike shop owner, and you know, had a background with Rocky. I was a dealer for them. Said, look man, carbon's come a long way, and you don't have to worry about it with your weight anymore. You can ride this. I challenge you to break it. Well, challenge accepted. Within a year I broke it. Well, actually within about 6 months I broke it twice. But shout out to Rocky Mountain. I broke that bike twice. There was no questions asked on the warranty. Took it to the bike shop the same day I broke it each time. The next day, Rocky Mountain overnighted parts, and within 3 days, I was back on the trail. But anyway, just throw it out there. If you're gonna buy carbon, buy it new and make sure that they have a reputable customer service, that they're gonna take care of their warranty on it if it breaks, because I mean, that's a lot of money to spend. But so Rocky Mountain did that. I trust them right now. They've stood behind their stuff, and they got me hooked up with something awesome, and they did what they said they were going to do. So if you're buying, like I said, number 1 rule, if you're buying carbon, buy it from a shop, buy it new, so that you make sure that they have a good warranty, and that, you know, their customer reviews and service stuff supports that. You know, that's the worst thing. You spend a lot of money, a couple $1,000s on a bike, and even used, you spend a couple grand on a bike and then you go out and break it and you got nothing. You're spending more money. So just, if you're buying carbon, buy it new. Otherwise, look into some other frame materials. Aluminum's still good. We'll talk about some things to look out for on my other bike, but aluminum's still good. Man, steel is real, and that's my other bikes are steel, and I love that. So I want to introduce the bike, what I got going on with it. Starting in the cockpit, I got P&W range bars. I came across P&W components because they're dropper post. I was looking for a dropper post on a budget. I bought one because it was like 150 bucks, and they had a coupon or something. I think they're normally like 180, but so a lot cheaper in the market for dropper posts. I got it. I loved it so much. I sold my Fox transfer post, and I've got a P&W post on this bike. So they're spring loaded, and I don't know why the industry went away from spring loaded. They went to air. It costs more, but man, you have to service it like every year. So I've been running both of these posts for a couple of years now. Haven't had to service them at all. I'll never have to service them because they're spring loaded according to them for the most part. And I have known of one going bad, and from a friend out of like maybe 15 friends that ride them, and he contacted P&W. They overnighted him the parts, a brand new post, no questions asked, and even included the upgraded loam lever. So good job for P&W components, making a believer out of us on that. But those are the bars. I'm running a Chromag stem, and you know, that's been good. Haven't had any problems out of that. Coming over to my brakes, I run Hope brakes front and back. The Tech 3 levers and the E4 calipers, and I'm running 203 millimeter rotors. So I got some big brakes on there. I'm a big guy. And they've been really good. I had the 2-piston Hope brake on the back before this, and I boiled the brake going down Katsuma, and that lost all braking power, and that wasn't fun. So kind of dialed that in, decided to upgrade my rotor and upgrade the piston or the calipers to the 4-piston to the E4s, and I haven't had that problem since. I'm sure that was more rider error than brake error, and I'm trying to get better at that skill braking in my own riding up here. So 160 millimeter shock, that's the Fox 36 Performance Elite. It's got the Grip 2 damper in it. It's really awesome. Can really dial it in for weight. Can dial in the different parts of the suspension stroke. It's been awesome. Had that on there a couple of years. It's simply great. The only thing I don't like about that fork is I don't have a lockout to climb, and that's debatable on whether that's good, bad, indifferent, whatnot. So I wish I could lock the front out. I can't. I get over it. I pedal up the hill with a little bit. It's so much fun going down. Coming down, I have the Fox DPX2 factory. That's upgraded. It's a 150 mil. It came stock with 140 mil. So basically, this is like the BC Edition bike, a little bit different suspension, and has the aluminum rear triangle. So when I broke the other one, I talked to the bike shop owner, and they basically, I said, I don't have faith in this bike. I broke it twice, riding some trails in Greensboro, North Carolina, not doing anything crazy at all. And it's just like, hey, what can we do? So we talked to them. Between the bike shop and Rocky Mountain, they hooked me up, and for not much, like a couple $100, they upgraded me out of that bike to this one, and pretty much that was just paying to get all the stuff swapped over and the shop taking care of me and stuff like that. So they did a good job. Shout out to Recycles in Greensboro. If you're looking for any custom bike stuff, man, they are crushing it, killing it. Merritt's putting out some really cool stuff. He's got a custom painter that does some good work, and he just rocks it with the build. So if you're looking for something custom, look up Recycles Bike Shop on Instagram, see what they're all about, and they'll build you something awesome. Coming down to my drivetrain on the front, the crank, I've got a race face effect. It came stock. It's holding up 2 years, really great up here in Pisgah. Something I'm trying new is this absolute black oval chainring. I've had it on there for a couple months. Totally a believer in it. Getting over stuff that I just didn't get over when I used to. And what I mean by that, like when I'm climbing and you got something technical or just something techy that you lose your momentum, you get stuck in an awkward place of your pedal stroke, or you'd have to be ratcheting to try to get over it and stuff like that. Ultimately, I go so slow when I'm climbing that would just put me off my bike, like put my foot down, having to figure out, get off my bike, get back on it. With the oval, I'm finding that I have more power in the odd places of my pedal stroke. So that's been a totally awesome upgrade. I'll be keeping those. I run that on both my mountain bikes, and they're just awesome. Coming to the back, I got the SRAM GX Eagle. That was upgraded. Upgraded to the SRAM GX Eagle because of the deal I got on my wheels. I bought these wheels used and got a solid deal, but they came with a SRAM XD driver. So I took that opportunity. I was also building my other bike. I swapped that drivetrain to my other bike and went with this. And so far, it's a toss-up. I like SRAM and I like Shimano. Like I run Shimano XT on the other one, the 11-speed. This is the 12-speed. This has more range, but man, they both work. So it's whatever your preference is. They both held up really well under my weight. For wheels, probably the biggest thing that I've had to spend money on over the years riding my bike is my wheels. I've rebuilt so many wheels and had to true wheels and all this stuff. So I finally built a set of Industry 9 wheels. The first set's currently on my other bike. Those are 3 years old, and I have never trued them. So these popped up. These had the new Industry 9 Enduro 305 hoops and the Hydra hubs. So when they popped up, somebody was selling them for over half price. I think I paid $500 for them, and maybe a third of the prices. I think they're about $1,500 when you put the colors and everything in there. So I grabbed those and said, I don't care about the colors. My stuff doesn't need to match. I want that awesome set of wheels. So I hooked those up when they got here, it was an XD driver, so I ended up doing an XD drive or a SRAM drivetrain and going for that. But it's been really awesome, and they've been holding up. But to this day, 3 years of riding I9 wheels and hubs, and I have so far, knock on wood, haven't had any trouble and haven't had to true them or do anything through them other than regular service that should be expected anyway. So shout out to I9, they're doing good stuff, making stuff that big people can ride. This is the PNW seat post I talked about. It's awesome, and it works every time you need to do something. It just works, and that's been a great company. So like I said, shout out to Recycles in Greensboro. That's where my bike stuff started. Since I moved to Western North Carolina, I'm no longer around that shop, even though I like to support them anytime I go there. But up here, I've been going to lately into Squatch Bikes and Brews, and I don't know, you can see the we'll move the camera a little bit. So Squatch Bikes and Brews in Brevard, North Carolina. They're doing some awesome stuff, a really cool shop, and they do a lot of group rides. Love those guys. And you know, if ever walk in there, it's just a good feel. The mechanics are willing to answer questions, help you out, and it's just a good feel. So if you're ever in Brevard, stop by Squatch, look them up, catch a group ride if you can. There's a lot of good bike shops up here. That's just the one that I go to the most. So I could talk a lot about all of them. Anyway, and geez, I mean, they've got a couple big guys that know how to work on bikes and do stuff. So that's my bike. That's my go-to bike. Again, 2018 Rocky Mountain Instinct. And it's been awesome so far. The only thing I've had to do to this, service the rear, I had to do the regular service on the rear shock. I blew it up, but that's to be expected. And every year or two, you're having to rebuild that shock. And I put it through a lot. It supports me. I put a lot of weight into it, so that's to be expected. Anyway, got questions? Send them to me. Anything, we'll get some answers, get some videos up. Hit subscribe, hit like, and share it with your friends. And other than that, man, you've been biking with a big guy. Get out there and ride, guys.